Welcome into the Lantern Sports Preview Show. I'm your host, Casey Smith, and joining me as always is Gabe Burggraf. This week, number 3 Ohio State, they have their first road test against Michigan State heading up to East Lansing. Ohio State, they're coming off a 49-10 victory against Rutgers. Michigan State, they've been on a slide, and people have really been at Mel Tucker's head, if you will, especially coming off this 27-13 loss to Maryland. And in Ohio State's 49-10 victory, C.J. Stroud didn't look that great either. But you're expecting a bounce-back week from this week, right?
Right. Well, you're talking about Michigan State chopping at the bit. Chop had himself a game last game, so C.J. Stroud wasn't putting up the numbers he has put up this season. But, only a couple mistakes. Didn't play a perfect game, but seeing that, you expect him to do much better on the road at Michigan State. It'll be interesting to see him in that environment, especially if the Spartans try to stop the run. Because if they bring those safeties down, we know he has the weapons to do damage.
And with the weather conditions, it's going to be a little windy in East Lansing. If Ohio State tries to establish the run early in the game, you're looking at a Spartan linebacker to try and stop it, right?
Absolutely. Ben Van Sumeren for the Spartans is going to be the guy leading the charge. He had 14 tackles against Maryland last week. They didn't win that game, but they were in it. Only a 2-score game at the end. So if they're going to stop this Buckeyes offense, it's going to be at the line of scrimmage, and the linebacking core is going to be instrumental for that because the secondary hasn't been great.
And stopping that Buckeye offense has really been a struggle for Michigan State in these recent years. They're averaging 38.8 points per game in the last 6 meetings in Ohio State's 6-game win streak. This season, it's much of the same, leading the country with 48.8 points per game. And that's thanks to driving the ball down the field and really finishing off drives, scoring touchdowns on 23 of 25 red zone trips at a 92% clip, which ranks best in the country. Michigan State, though, it hasn't been easy going. In Ohio State, C.J. Stroud put up 6 touchdowns in Columbus a season ago, and they're allowing 275 pass yards per game, which ranks 115th in the FBS. Very similar to that defense from a season ago that ranked dead last in the FBS. The only thing they really have going for them is they're committing only 4.8 penalties per game. So really, when you're playing Ohio State, you have to play the cleanest game possible. And if Michigan State can limit those penalties, really killing drives and backing them up and giving Ohio State extra opportunities, that'll play a key factor. And then also field position. Michigan State, Spartan Stadium, it's weird. They got swirling wind, and that can lead to some really long punts. I remember a 70-yarder from Cam Johnson a few years ago. But Michigan State, they play in that almost every week, so it's coming to their luxury at .40 punt efficiency. I'm really digging into the weeds of punt efficiency, Gabe, but that's according to Football Outsiders, 5th in the country. Like I mentioned, when you're playing Ohio State, every yard matters. So if they're able to pin Ohio State deep, force a 3-and-out, get the ball back in plus territory, that's really going to play into the Spartans' hands. So, we'll see if that's part of the Spartans' game plan this weekend, and we'll have all the coverage for you in Ohio State's first road test of the season. 4 o'clock kick broadcast on ABC. We'll be there with the coverage, with the highlight video and the post-game analysis. Our writers, Jacob and Steven, will have the stories for you. In the meantime, be sure to follow us on all socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. But for now, this has been the Lantern Sports Preview Show. I'm your host, Casey Smith, for Gabe Burggraf. Until next time, take care.